It's in the right order.
This is the latest I've ever started a meeting. Holy mackerel. Let's see, to the inhabitants in the school district of Candia, in the town of Candia, qualified to vote on district affairs. You are hereby notified to meet at Candia Moore School in the said district on Thursday, February 5th, 2026 at 6 p.m. The session shall consist of the explanation, discussion, and deliberation of the warrant articles numbered 2 through 4. Warrant articles may be amended subject to the following limitations. Warrant articles whose wording is prescribed by law shall not be amended. Warrant articles that are amended shall be placed on the official ballot for the final vote on the main motion as amended. And finally, no warrant article shall be amended to change the subject matter. Second session of the annual meeting is voting. Voting on warrant articles 1 through 4 shall be conducted by the official ballot, held in conjunction with the town voting on March 10th, 2026, at the Candia Youth Athletic Association. Those polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. This being the appointed place and the appointed hour, I declare the 2026 deliberative session for the school district in the town of Candia to be in session at, let's call it 6:20. Welcome, my name is Clark Thing, and I am your moderator. For the Candia School District, please rise and join me in saluting the flags of our state and country. Chairman Helmig, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You probably couldn't see it from down there, but it makes my heart feel good when I see the Girl Scouts walk out to see the flag and face it to do the salute. So, well done. Hey, I'd like to thank Don Dupree, Beaupree, and Dylan. Dylan, where'd you go? Dylan's back there. Wave, say hi, Dylan. Hi, that's Dylan. And their crews, but I really think it's just you two guys, probably, right? Yeah, that's what I figured. For their efforts in setting up the meeting and all these arrangements that you see about you. For those of you joining us the first time, we have some basic ground rules that we observed in conducting the meeting, and I think we have some new folks here as I look across the room. So it's really quite simple. It's run the same way as the town deliberative session was back on, God, it seems like a month ago, back on Saturday. Basically, when you are ready to speak on your position and give your impassioned plea, please step up to the microphone. I'll recognize you. We ask that you give your name and your street address so it can be properly recorded in the record so we know exactly who is speaking. And we will continue that way through discussion. There are several ways to end discussion. Most commonly, it just kind of ends. There's also something called calling the question, which means, I've had enough of this, Clark. Can we wrap it up? And at that point, I'll turn to you, the body, and say, hey, are we done talking about this? And if the body's affirmative, we'll move directly to a vote. So it'll be all right. We'll be okay. So if you have any questions as we move our way through, please let me know. Point of order is a great way to get my attention if I'm doing something else up here, and I will answer your question. Now, I would like to take a moment to introduce your school district staff and officers. We've got Jen Maurice. Jen, how many years have you been doing this?
It's forever. 11, 12.
Jen was even shorter when we started doing this. Let's see. You got Stephanie Helmig is the chair of the school board. We have Heather Tremblay down, she's further down, but they'll wave their hands or what they are. Dana Buckley is the clerk. Mark Chelbreck is the vice chair. Meredith Wilson is a board member. And let's see, behind you, I don't know if you can see him or not, but somewhere back there is Becky Wing. She's our principal. Wow. I never get applause. Let's see, we've got Dorothy Franchini, who's the vice principal. Behind me, this says William Rarick. I think his real name is Bill, though. He's sitting back here. Here's your superintendent. And where'd the rest of that page go? Oh, here we go. And we have we have Cindy Borgalt. I got it? Close enough? How do you say it again? Borgalt. Sorry, it's just not French enough, but yet too French at the same time. And we've got Stacy Eaton down there, and I think that is everybody, with the exception of our town council back here. This is Peter Phillips. Peter, are you all loosened up? It's going to be a long one, buddy. So there we go. Now, this being a public meeting, anybody is welcome to attend. However, only residents and registered voters of Candia are allowed to speak. Now, we can make an exception to that. We have several people here this evening who are not town members, who I think we benefit the body to hear them speak. Is there any objection to letting everybody on the back row be allowed to speak when they have a question, as well as, where'd you go, Mike? Mike McGillen is here somewhere. Oh, there he is in the back, as well as Mike McGillen, who may want to give us perspective on the police department. Any objections? Yes. Is there?
He's a resident.
All right. I'll park you for a second. I'll be right back. Is everybody okay with all of these folks? Carry on. How do we feel about the young person who was here last year?
He's a freshman.
Stand up. Are we good with this? There we go. All right. Now you can sit down. So, are there any questions before we move to the warrant? Take my warrant? No? All right.
Do not take your warrant. The warrant is right here.
Jeez. How long have we been married? Anyway, all right. So we're going to start with the second session. We'll let you know what terms are up in March when you go to the actual polling locations. It'll be your first article. You have 2 school board members for 3-year terms. We have a school district moderator for a 3-year term. We have a school district clerk for a 3-year term. And we have the school district treasurer for a 3-year term. Let's see. What is, this isn't right.
New.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody asked me. All right. The average cost per pupil for the preceding year, 24-25, as calculated in accordance with RSA 189:75, 1A, is $22,249.57. Candia School District proficiency scores for the preceding year, okay, 2024 through 2025, ELA proficiency, 55%, math proficiency, 53%, and science proficiency, 49%. Okay, there we go. So let's move to Article 2. Shall the Candia School District raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or is amended by the vote of the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $11,585,787. Should this article be defeated, the defeated budget shall be $11,817,330, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by the previous action of the Candia School District or by law, or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 40:1310 and, let's see, 16, to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. The estimated tax rate is 50 cents per thousand. And this is written a little bit different than we see at the town level. 0 yes, 4 no, not recommended by the school board. 5 yes, 4 no, recommended by the budget committee. I look for a motion on Article 2.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
We have discussion on Article 2. Come on, Rob. You don't have to go the long way. You can. Oh, I see. Building anticipation.
Hello. Jason Guston, 161 Crowley Road. I'm going to propose amending the wording of Article 2 to be a proposed budget of $11,833,330. Sorry, say that again.
Go ahead. It's all right.
$11,833,330. This is a value of $16,000 above the default budget. The default budget is set by law based on formulas for increased costs. This includes previously town-approved payment increases for teachers and set. I've chosen a value above default because of the 2 recent heating pump failures, which my son is in class with. Quick research indicated that these would be and were not cheap to replace. And the value I've suggested is based off of average prices I can find online. In the future, I'd much prefer for suggestions to come from the budget committee about more appropriate ways to reduce costs rather than blanket statements such as they'll figure it out, suggesting to eliminate the vice principal position, or reduce busing levels so that below that is what is required by law. Having a top 5% school in the state is an incredible achievement. Asking the school to try and maintain this level of success with reduced levels of support is not the question we should be asking, but rather, how can we help them?
So, Justin, I know you're tech heavy, but tell me you've got that written down somewhere. Thank you.
Difference is there, and then that is the straight article that you can apply there.
Okay. Is there discussion on the amendment as proposed? Okay, let me just read that amendment, be sure we all understand what we're doing here today. The new budget, the budget would move from, flip my page back. The way it's currently in Article 2, it's $11,585,787. The amendment would bring that amount to, I do not like attorneys looking over my shoulder. You're fine, Peter. The new dollar amount will be $11,833,313 with a default, which I don't think the default changes. No, the default remains the same. So your new number will be $11,833,313. Okay, again, any discussion?
Was there a second?
Needed a second.
How about a second out there? We have a second.
I need his name.
And your name, sir? Got it? You don't need a street address for a second, right? Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second, and so let's go ahead and move to a vote. All right, we have a request for a secret yes/no ballot. Okay, a request for a secret yes/no ballot. The way this functions, just so everybody knows what's going on, any 5 people, registered voters of course, can request a secret yes/no ballot on any vote that we're going to do tonight. What that means is, hang on Justin, I may answer your question here, that we will be using our voting cards and we will be depositing these in the voting box that you see up front here, and then you'll receive a new ballot, because you've already been vetted as a voter when you get your initial ballot, okay? So part of the rules are these 5 people have to be present, and we're going to have them stand. So Sue Young, Dean Young, is it Katrina Niles? There we go. Tim Darcy, and I do see Carla has popped up there. Dean, I'm looking for Dean. Oh, there you are, Dean. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. So you have your ballot cards, and you can sit down. Thank you for standing. You're going to need that for the record. Do you want to look at that? Okay.
Can I explain why that request is?
Absolutely, you can. Justin, did you want to go first? He's been waiting patiently in the back. The microphone's right here, young man. You got it.
Just clarify about the process that just occurred. So, because of anyone that has voted for this, requiring everybody to get back in line to vote, and then we also have to then re-register and everything like that, so we have to go through the line multiple times every time we have.
No.
We have to get in line to vote every single time we have.
Yes, you will. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's pretty rude of me, but I've been rude to you for years. So yes, the process is, look, if you went to a town meeting, this is town meeting, buddy. This is how they work at a traditional town meeting. You're going to mark your ballot. You're all going to get a nice orderly line, or Chief McGillen will speak to you. And then you're going to come up here and you're going to deposit your vote in the ballot box, which will be manned by our clerk. And as your vote goes in, you'll then receive a different voting card. Look at that, on cue, no less. A different voting card in case they're needed again this evening. Got it? Yeah. So the concept behind that is that once you have these, you've been vetted. You've been checked in by Candy and her help today. We know that you're supposed to have one of these. So in one goes, out comes the next one. Got it? There'll be a quiz in the morning. Okay. Sue, I think you had some discussion on your call.
Candia, I want you to know, I do not want this meeting dragged out any more than anybody else does. One reason, plain and simple, that I requested that is there's a lot of fear and intimidation about that. For people who do vote for something or don't vote for something, and I'm trying to get rid of that by doing it so you can do it privately, like we do it much. Okay, it's nothing one way or the other, it's just to give you some privacy in voting.
Okay, so is there any other commentary on that at all? Want to give everybody a chance to speak if they wish to. Come right up, sir. Is that you, Russ? No, it's school, buddy. You got to bring a pencil to school.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Clark, we're running to get.
Yeah.
We're going to get
So,
some.
being the wonderful teaching staff we have back here, they anticipated that need. They're going to a class that might not have grabbed pens for you. Okay?
I'll have my pen in line if anybody wants to borrow
Are
it.
those pens in the budget?
No.
Okay. Is there any? I'm sorry. Bonnie, could you keep it down just a little bit? I've got a question. Yes, Sue?
So on the new amount, the amended amount,
Yes. So the request was that I clarify we are voting on the amended amount. Will we accept the amended amount? Okay. So look, if you've got your pen or pencil or writing instrument already, go right ahead. Mark your ballot. Give Jen just a moment to hop down there. Tracy, you ready to go? Get your replacement ballots?
Before we quickly, there's not many comments, so the next one will be quick. No.
It'll take forever.
Dana, I'm his vice chair on the planning board.
I'm second putting it. You want to speak? Okay, so when someone makes a motion and second, he'll ask for discussion.
Right.
So like when someone makes a motion for like the capital budget,
Get up and get in line. Go be aligned to speak to that. Be sure I see you. I'll take care of you.
and also do I still say my address even though I'm not registered?
There's not a need for that because you're not a registered voter. Again, if you want.
I was on the floor. I just taped it up higher. Yeah. Mrs. Sarah texted. Check.
said it was 16,000. It's not. It's 247, right? Because he said 11,833. So where did he get 16,000?
Where did you get this number?
I did that minus that.
No, he didn't do that. I think he said he took the cost of the recent pump failure
Yeah.
and added that to this to increase this. I think that's what he did. I thought that's what he said. The pump failure that just cost the school money for the heat failure was, I'm guessing, he found 16 grand. And
Anyone
added
else to
that
cast their yellow ballot?
or maybe to this. Who's the one in the
Had the wrong one.
So this particular voting session is closed. We'll now move to count the ballots.
Hey, if they can count the presidential election, they can count this.
Yes, when I count voting, I have
Turn up a little bit.
Yeah, I turned you up already.
Clark,
Got it.
in light of the fact that there are some people here with babies and children, would it be advisable to make a motion to move warrant article number 4 to next? Because that'll be a big discussion.
Anybody can move the warrant around however they want. You can make a motion to do that, certainly.
Okay.
So what we're going to... So what I've got them doing is, Jen supervising,
Heather,
split them down the middle.
you want me to make
They're
that
going to
motion?
count, then they're going to switch sides. Don't count it back in. Yes, they're appointed by me. These are all assistant moderators. Well, Jen obviously is clerk. I stepped away from the ballot clerk thing and all the assistant moderators. It's just so much easier.
Who's the chair of the planning board?
These are all pretty strenuous volunteers in town. So you've got 3 coaches, you've got a school teacher. This one's my son, second one in, who has some interest in town politics. But I've known these actually. So actually, never had one. It's available, but it's never happened. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It was really fashionable.
I want them to. Today, my daughter says I'm walking all day long. This is going to.
Deliberative, yes. Now, back when still was here, but we'd have all the classrooms wired up. So I'd be sending the assistant moderators out to the classrooms for the vote. It was all, back then it was CCTV behind it. It is. We do, so when we had,
So who were those fathers?
we actually used space to seats out every 6 feet. But you had to over 6 feet. But it doesn't flow well in there and that kind of stuff. So the clerk is going to ban those. They're going to seal them in one place. All those cast ballots have to be in one location and they have to be preserved.
You want your purse? You want your purse?
Doesn't matter. There's not enough of them to worry about separating out yes and no's.
During the next vote, I'll go find an envelope.
So are there any? All right. You got the numbers, Jen? Jen, write those on the back of a yellow ballot. You know what I mean?
that case should have more.
So,
Okay, so there are, so we are nearly done, ooh, sorry about that. We're nearly done tabulating that vote, just to make sure everybody should have a green, light green? I don't know, my red-green colorblind people are like, what are you, it's gray, what are you talking about? So, the way you came, walked up and that stride, holy mackerel. Come on now.
I was gonna put it with the ballots. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll seal those all up together. So, result of the vote on amending the budget, on the amendment itself, we have yes 81, no 21. Yes 81, no 21. That motion is going to carry that in the affirmative, and we will move to voting on Article 2 as amended to move it to the ballot. That's what happens next, all right? So we approve the amendment. Now we're going to talk about putting that amendment, that new dollar amount, on the ballot for March. So Jen, would you put these with the ballots? Thank you very much. Is there discussion on Article 2? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote on putting Article 2 on the ballot as amended. All in favor of putting it to the ballot as amended, please signify by raising your voting cards. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Article 2 will move to the ballot as amended.
Clark, can I make a motion to...
Did you mean Mr. Moderator?
I'm sorry, Mr. Moderator. Is now an appropriate time to make a motion to renumber or reorder?
Not renumbered. Could I help you out a little bit? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't put words in your mouth.
No.
So there was a request that came to me as we were tabulating. There was a concern that we have some moms and dads who might have kids at home, and that we move Article 4 for discussion next. So this is not a renumbering. It'll still be number 4 when you go there in March. So all those in favor of moving discussion to Article 4, please signify by raising your ballot cards. All those opposed? That was easy. So we'll move on to consideration of Article 4. Now we'll get back to the other one, but we'll move this here and get you guys moving along. Shall the town vote to adopt the provisions of RSA 32:5-B, 32:5-E, and implement a tax cap whereby the governing body and/or the budget committee shall not submit a recommended school budget that increases the amount to be raised by local taxes for the Candia budget based on the prior fiscal year's actual amount of local taxes raised by more than 3%. This requires a 3/5 majority, and we have 0 yes, 4 no, so it is not recommended by the school board, and 3 yes, 6 no, not recommended by the budget committee. I look for a motion on Article 4. Is the petitioner here? Typically the petitioner moves their own. Okay, and you've got that person? Spell that.
Well, I know, but he didn't say his name.
He didn't, but
We know.
and a second. Thank you, Steve. We have a motion and a second. So,
I don't know who this second is.
Steve.
Thank you.
So I'm going to take part of the moderator's license here, and I'm going to point out, after advice of counsel, 2 things on this particular warrant article. The first one is 32:5-E does not refer to the appropriate statute for this particular budget cap. I think that is supposed to be, and correct me back up here, C, right? 32:5-C.
That's correct, Mr. Moderator. The 32:5E, it relates to the budget cap statute, not the tax cap statute.
Okay, all right. And see, Stephanie, see how he called me Mr. Moderator? See how it works?
I got it.
Okay, and that's the first part, and the second part is, that's considered housekeeping. It's just a housekeeping thing to make it nice and clean and neat, to be sure there's no problems with DRA if it happens to pass. The second part of this is that much of this warrant article is prescribed by law and cannot be changed. Much of it. Some of it can, but the wording is prescribed by law. Am I correct on that, Counsel?
That's correct, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much. So what we'll do is we'll worry about that changing E to C later with the permission of the petitioner. Very good, thank you. So I look for discussion. I've got a motion and a second. A little bit of housekeeping, but I look for discussion on Article 4. You are entirely too tall.
Jason Gustin, 161 Crowley Road again. I have further questions about the wording of the article and how it's prescribed by law, as in...
Speak up a little bit more. People in the back.
All right,
Sorry.
deal. I have further questions around the legality or the wording of the amendment, warrant article as put forward, and how it's prescribed by law. There are other changes in here that I believe were made to the prescription of the law that I don't think and confuse things. So.
Okay, so your question actually, and I'm going to pass this question to counsel because I'm not an attorney.
Yeah, me either. But
Too much self-respect. So anyway, your question for counsel tonight is what exactly? In other words, I'm trying to help him figure out the best way to help you with your question.
If you look at the prescribed wording of the warrant article that's dictated in the RSA, there are some changes that you can make for committee or budget committee or things like that. But there are additions here further on top of that that are not in the RSA.
Peter, I yield the floor.
I understand the question. The RSA 32:5-C Roman 4, in quotations, establishes the language to establish a local tax cap. There are other options that could potentially be done in terms of how you calculate the tax cap, but this particular warrant article does propose that the tax cap be based on a percentage, which is under the article as presented is 3%. That number can be amended by vote of the body, the deliberative session, and it does reference the governing body and/or the budget committee. I think in this particular district, the budget committee would be the determining body.
I'm sorry, did we cut you off?
No, I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So, and I will say that as I was in line to vote today, a person out there came up to me and said, can you talk about this stuff in English instead of this legal stuff? So I'll try. I think what Peter's trying to say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is really the only thing you can change here, other than our small housekeeping item, is the percentage.
That's correct, and there are other changes other than the percentage.
According to what counsel just said, the rest of it's pretty much how it is.
So in between, so from 32.5-C article, I don't know if article's the right word, but 4, shall adopt the provisions of RSA 32:5-B. We have the wrong other one, which we'll change.
Right, that's fine.
And implement a tax cap whereby the governing body or budget committee, which we put both in, great, that's fine, shall not submit a recommended budget. The warrant article, as read, shall not submit a recommended school budget.
Oh, I think I know what you're saying.
Doesn't match.
If you're correct, this is a school budget, you could take that out in order to align it with the language in the statute. I don't think whether you have school in there or not, it's not going to affect the
So okay, that's fine. The RSA here is talking about a local tax cap. True. Not a school budget.
Right. So
It's talking about a budget cap for the town, right?
That's a separate statute, and as I've indicated earlier to folks,
budget cap.
But how that tax cap is achieved is done a different way. This is a tax cap to the town budget. And by changing and adding a word there, you change the intent of the RSA, no?
Right.
Well, this is a school district meeting, this is a school district budget. A lot of the statutory language applies to both towns and school districts, and you can interchange town with school and many instances. We're here discussing a school district budget, obviously, so I don't see the fact that the school may be referenced to maybe that's not going to disallow the article. The law is clear that the petition article this remains on the warrant. It is subject to some amendment, particularly the percentage, and also minor textual changes that don't change the
Intent.
subject matter of the article. Obviously, by way of example, that 32.5E, that would just confuse the voters, and I think it's appropriate to remove that if the body approves that.
Yes.
So let me try to paraphrase here. Peter, is what you're saying that DRA is going to figure this out?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And it pertains to whether you're going to have a tax cap on this school district budget.
Okay. So if we go on, further on in the wording, the warrant article has added the fact that this is, let me read from the RSA first real quick. That increases the amount to be raised by local taxes, comma. The warrant article goes on to say the amount to be raised by local taxes for the Candia budget. So is this really limiting the school budget by some percentage based on what that impact of the overall town taxes might be? It's very specific around school budget.
He's reading. What's interesting is I can see what you're reading. He's reading the same thing behind me. So.
And I was looking at RSA 32:5-B, it's the local tax cap statute. And it says that in a town or district that has adopted this section, the estimated amount of local taxes to be raised for the fiscal year shall include the operating budget and all other warrant articles with a tax impact certified by the governing body or U.S. committee and posted on the warrant for the annual meeting pursuant to RSA 32:5. The estimated amount of local taxes to be raised for the fiscal year shall not exceed the local taxes raised for a prior year as shown on the same budget and adjusted as provided in paragraph 1 and 2 by more than the tax cap authorized when this section was adopted. That's what this, if adopted, that's what we're.
Yeah, and I don't know how to explain it without trying to sit down with you. The wording in here is incredibly confusing. It's different than what is prescribed in the RSA, just enough that it doesn't match. I don't see how.
Well, if someone wants to make a motion to amend the article to exactly quote what's in the statute, then you should do that.
Sure can.
That's not going to be disallowed by our idea, right?
I mean, if you're concerned, Jason, it's conflicting statutory law, well, go to New Hampshire.
Okay, I'll move on. I propose amending the wording of warrant article 4 to be a cap of 15%. I've chosen this value such that we do not impose arbitrary limits on the growth of our school's potential. Further, if the state allows students to select whatever school district they choose in the future, this artificial limit could come to hurt us, as kids could come here since we are a top 5% school in the state. We have no idea what the future holds us. To limit ourselves is foolish. We should be having these discussions about the budget when the budget comes up every year, and if you're concerned about that, please go to the meetings, okay? Arbitrarily limiting ourselves without knowing what the future holds is foolish.
So I have a motion. I look for a second. We have a second. Jim Jones second last time. And You know the drill, my friend.
Can we, so when does Hunter speak?
Hunter?
The boy wanted to speak on this.
He said he's going to hold up his hand whenever he wants to. He's not doing it yet. Okay, we're looking for discussion on the proposed amendment to Article 4. Let's trip me up there. And it will read basically the same, actually, as you see right now, except the 3% will be increased to 15%. Judy?
Judith Otley Road. I have a point of order.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is this is a citizen's petition. This is not something that was put in by the Budget Committee or the school board.
You're correct.
My understanding about citizens petitions is citizens petitions have to be put onto the warrant the way they were presented, that they cannot be changed. I perhaps misinterpret that, but that's my understanding, is that citizens petitions cannot be changed.
That's generally correct, except for any minor textual changes. That's what the law says. I don't have the exact quote, but.
Well, changing the percentage from 3% to 15%,
no.
I don't think would be considered a minor.
Oh, no, well, no, that's a good point, but no, in this context, the statute doesn't dictate what the percentage can be, and it's actually, the statute has it as a blank there for the amount of the proposed tax cap. The body has the right to debate that number and decide to have it go up or change that amount. I'll put it that way. The subject matter of the article is remaining the same. The intent can be changed, and in this context, the number or the percentage proposed can be amended.
There you go. Additional discussion. I was hoping the petitioner would come up and tell us about his article.
Bill Saffey, 30 Patton Hill Road, Candia, New Hampshire.
Can you ask him to speak up?
So, the whole reason this came about...
Bill, step right up to that microphone. The people in the back are waving to me.
The whole reason this came about is the last couple of years, Jason comes up here and changes the budget that the Budget Committee submits, and it just seems like you're taking away the voters' rights to have options. And you did it again this year, right on time. So the voters have very little choice in whether they pick the default budget or the new proposed budget. I just want to produce a couple of facts. 25-26 approved budget, this are your numbers.
I can't hear him.
25-26 year season, the approved budget was $10,808,344.79. Somehow, that approved budget became a default budget of $11,800,000. It's $1 million more. So did you spend $1 million more than the approved budget to come up with a new default budget?
The new default budget includes increases. It's a reduction of one-time expenses. So in the Budget Committee meetings that we have had, you have heard all the percentage increases for health insurance, teachers' salaries, Pinkerton, electricity, lighting. Like, we've discussed all these increases. So that's where that money comes from.
Correct. But at the same time, every department in town has health insurance increases, electricity increases, everything. Everyone has the same increases. I have the same increases myself. So you're taking away our options by making the default budget and the proposed budget almost exactly the same.
The increase on the town's budget was approximately 6.5% as well. The increase on our default budget for school is 6.3. Sue, what was that?
So if you keep the warrant article at 3%, you'd be like every other department in town. You could do a warrant article every year and say, we need $500,000 extra to do such and such, and give the voters a choice. Instead, you're going to pin the voters down to whatever percentage you guys desire and take away the choice of the general voting, not just the group that's here tonight.
This warrant article that you proposed includes additional warrant articles. So if we wanted to put $50,000 in a building maintenance fund, that's included in the 3% tax cap.
No, it's not. You could do a separate warrant article and change this next year if you wanted to. You could make it 6% next year.
Yes.
There's a difference of opinion.
The warrant article limits the tax cap of school spending 3%.
Yeah.
If the school decides to remove some things from the budget and add it to warrant articles, do all school warrant articles included in that 3% tax?
My understanding is that it's the budget and any other cost articles that may be as part of the warrant. It's all together. So if you have a tax cap, my understanding is that if you also have a CBA on the warrant and the CBA passes, that affects whether you satisfy that tax cap. And I was looking at this earlier, and then you could actually have a CBA pass that's enforceable with the association, the teachers association, yet because it may not pass by a 3/5 vote, the district would still be restricted by that 3%, and then you're not going to have the funds potentially to pay for other things, but you'd have to pay the CBA. So that's one possibility. So.
Let me make sure I understand here, and because I'm sure there's the same question that I do. If the school was to try to stay underneath, let's say the 3% passes, the school's trying to stay underneath that, yeah, and they extract pieces of that budget and make them independent, freestanding warrant articles, right, they're still going to count against that 3%.
That's right, exactly.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, as well as the CBA. The CBA's collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
So if the 3% passed, that means the teachers could literally have a 3% raise every year.
No.
Yes,
Well, I
they
mean,
could.
we'd like that, but yes, no.
Obviously, you're a teacher, so
You deserve it. I think you deserve it.
Is that functionally how that would work?
It's not feasible with, like, our Pinkerton increase was, what, 3.9%? Health insurance was 7%. So to limit that 3% to teachers' salaries only per year would mean other cuts. Or cutting more teachers.
Cutting teachers was the other comment.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. So.
Well, could cut. Other departments do. Other departments do make cuts, trying to save the taxpayers some money. You realize in the last 5 years, your budget has increased $3 million over 5 years.
I have to look at the numbers for that. I don't think that's.
And now you're on $1 million a year, is what you're trying to increase it by. I just think that it's not fair to the voters. And when I was out getting signatures, that's when I discovered that, because I didn't go out looking to help retirees or young families. I went out because of Jason every year coming up here and changing the proposed budget. But when I was gathering signatures, that is when I discovered the seniors in town, the elderly in town, and the young families in town were like, yes, even though I have kids in the school, it's expensive to live here. And my budget goes up. These are the people I'm getting signatures from. And they're saying my budget goes up too, and no one's helping me. But you can take my money as easily as you can because you don't give them any option on a vote. Your default budget and now your proposed budget are almost, what, $13,000 difference? That's really nice. It's a great option for the voters. Thanks.
Sue, would you like to speak to that?
Oh, no, are you just
I think he was being polite. Yeah.
Included in this warrant is also.
Step right up there.
Included in this warrant is also another RSA that I haven't heard mentioned, 32.5-E.
What was that?
32.5-E is also in this warrant, and nobody seems to be talking about that.
Right. We spoke with that earlier on.
What about it?
It's the wrong one.
Okay.
It won't get. It's my opinion and council's opinion that it will not get the petitioner to where the petitioner wants to be if this were to be passed
Okay,
in March.
okay. So my thought is, why not, it's not just the parents or the people here tonight who are paying for all these things, whether it's town or school or anything else. Why don't we send it to the majority of people, the entire townspeople and voters who are paying for these things? Not just the group that's here tonight, whether they're pro or con this. Why don't we have it available? It's been printed. People think they're going to get the opportunity to vote on this, either yay or nay. And what I hear happening is that that opportunity is being taken away. And then I don't know what that whole last couple of sentences was that he added to the amendment. It sounded like school choice, but I don't know, what does that say at the end?
There's no amendment.
He was going on there about,
Sit down here.
Yep, that's it.
or was he just talking? He didn't
He
put
just
it in
amended
the
to
amendment?
15.
The only change in the amendment is, again, parking the E that really should be a C.
Okay.
And Bill, if I'm wrong, please correct me.
Yeah, only
I don't want
one
to speak for
person
you.
has a law
But
degree.
he just changed, Jason's proposal, and what we're speaking about right now is moving the cap amount from 3% to 15%.
That's it.
3 to 1
I
5.
thought
You
I
are
heard
correct,
him
so
go
that's the only
on
difference.
after that.
I think that
He was just talking.
Jason was just working
Okay.
his impassioned plea, yes.
Okay, well, that's good, thank you.
Oh, please, Dana, go right ahead.
All right, so there's handouts on the table over there. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to see them, but those handouts are comparing our cost per pupil spending over the last 7 years, and we go back 7 years because that was the first budget that Stephanie and I, who are the longest two longest serving members on this board, played a role in formulating a budget. If you look at those numbers, we're actually spending 1.1% above the state average. So we're pretty much dead on with what the state average is in this state for elementary schools. You have to understand in the context in which we operate. New Hampshire is high property taxes. It's not a Candia thing. You can literally take a dart and throw it at a map of this state, and wherever it lands, go talk to the people in that town and see how they feel about their property taxes. You're going to hear the same thing that you guys are saying tonight. Our property taxes are high. We empathize with you, but the facts are we're not spending, and when you compare us to the rest of the state, we are not spending an inordinate amount of money in this school district. That's just, the proof is right there on that spreadsheet.
Thank you. Yes, if anybody would like to hop up for a minute and grab that spreadsheet and take a look at it, you're certainly welcome to.
Bill Saffey, 30 Patton Hill Road. So we've debated this before. Me and Bill have gone back and forth, the superintendent. The number that you give, the 22,000, I believe it is, per student, if you multiply that by the amount of students, you're not coming anywhere near the budget. And that number is, you're leaving out something, busing, whatever it is you're leaving out, it should be counted as an expense for the children, because it is. It's like going to Market Basket, say I only spent $50 because I'm not going to count the meat and the produce I bought this week. It just seems illogical.
Can I respond to that?
If you're, hang on a second, Bill, if the number you're referring to was the one I read earlier, the average cost per pupil for the preceding year of 2024 through 2025, as calculated in accordance with RSA 189:75, comma 1A, is $22,249.57. Is there a board member that had a?
Yeah. The numbers on the spreadsheet are expenditure numbers. You're comparing expenditure numbers to budget numbers. They're not the same thing. You're making a comparison that's completely invalid.
It's not invalid.
It is invalid.
It is the budget.
You're doing your own formula on our budget and trying to compare it with the state numbers, which are expenditure numbers, not budget numbers, which were calculated with a completely different formula. It is a meaningless comparison that you're trying to make.
So your number times roughly 418 students, which I believe is what the town has, comes out to $9,300,320.26. So there's $3 million basically missing somewhere.
You're calculating it different than the state.
Jamie,
I
you
don't know
should
what else
count
to
it
say.
all.
Yeah.
You should count it all. You can't say this is the budget for the school, and leave out part of it. It either is or it isn't.
No. Stephanie, you had something to say?
I think
And I gotta reel you guys back in a little bit. Stephanie, what's your full name and where do you live?
Stephanie Helmrich. Do you really want my
Yeah,
75
she's got to have for the record, Fieldstone Lane, there we go.
I think
And I'll get Dana next
the
time.
issue here is that when you go onto the state website, it is an RSA and it is law. When you're comparing Auburn, Hooksett, Candia, you have to compare them on the same numbers. If you're using a different formula than Auburn's using, then you can't compare town to town. If you're comparing town to town, you need to use the formula that the state uses per law to see where we fall in average. You can call the Department of Education and I don't know if you can petition them to figure out if they want to change the formula or not, but that's the formula we're stuck with when we compare to other towns. So we have to compare apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Unfortunately, it's nothing the board's in control of, it's a state law.
So those numbers make the state look good. But they're not necessarily the true numbers, is my point.
The lawmakers in the state of New Hampshire found this formula to work.
Correct. That
I
is
don't
the
know if you
state.
can petition the state to change it or call the state to find out why they chose it, but it is unfortunately law and we have to follow it.
If you want to compare us to this other state, other towns in the state, those are the only numbers you can use for comparison.
I'm not comparing it to anyone else. I'm just saying, you ought to tell the truth, basically. You can't say I got $11,500,000 and you're only spending 9.3 on the kids. So where's the rest go? So what are you not counting?
Can I speak?
Oh, certainly, you've been recognized. Bill, this is your superintendent in the back, if you can't see who it is.
Yes.
As you know, Mr. Sapi, as a member of the Budget Committee, you get our budget, you get a line item budget. Every item that we spend is in that budget. That's where the money is. You're taking issue, as we've discussed, with the formula, the state formula. We don't, as Stephanie just mentioned, it's not it's not the Candia School Board's formula, it's not the SAU 15's formula, it's the state formula. The per pupil cost is determined, and we submit what's called the DOE 25 every year. And you have to list your expenditures minus food revenue, minus transportation, minus what they call supplemental expenditures, and then you get your number of $22,249. That's how the state wants that's how they calculate it. That's a fact. It's clear that you're unhappy with how they calculate it, but the number we give is the correct number based on the formula that the state wants us to use. And you have our budget. You have everything. So when you say, where's the money? It's in the budget that we gave you back in October as a member of the Budget Committee.
So technically, you could give the state number and the town number. You could break it down to what we pay for kids to go to Pinkerton and what we're paying for kids to go to the Moore School.
No, the statute that requires us to put that on the ballot tells us that we have to use the state per pupil cost, the most recent data that they have posted. That's the number we used. That's why it's posted right before the budget warrant article.
And why isn't busing counted?
I don't know. As I said, you will have.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
No, hang on. Bill, are you asking the superintendent a legislative question? Because it's the state, if I'm right, it's the state that develops that formula.
That's correct.
So I love you, Bill, but I don't think you know. I don't think you're the guy to ask.
I don't.
There's like $900,000 in the budget for busing.
That's correct.
So we're just not going to count it. I mean, it's just, like I said before, you could, I believe you could, whether it's state regulated or not, you could put on this piece of paper that the town of Candia does spend this amount of money for the kids to go to Pinkerton and the kids to go to the Moore School, but under state statute, this amount is what the state counts. You could make 3 different numbers up.
So it's become clear to the moderator that you are dissatisfied with the information that you're getting. And it also seems like this discussion has taken place before. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
Several times.
Okay, so this is a rehash of a prior discussion. All right, very good. Does anybody else have a question or comment? Bill, I'm not telling you to sit down, because somebody may ask you a question. Anybody else? You can call it right now. Okay, and your name, sir? Yeah, come on up so everybody can hear what you're doing.
And I take issue with being called a liar and hiding money in a public
I did
forum.
not hear that. I'm not going to call you a liar. Come on up, sir, and call that question, or at least stand up and say it loudly. Very good. Okay, so there's a call the question on the floor, and to explain what this means is, if this is voted in the affirmative by the body, we go directly to a vote. So all those in favor of calling the question, which is terminating discussion this time, please signify by raising your voting cards. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The question is called. We'll move directly to a vote. The vote is on the amended percentage amount, moving on Article 4, moving it from 3% to 15%. All those in favor of Article 4 as amended, please signify by raising your voting cards. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The article is amended. The next portion here is we have our new Article 4, which reads just like it did before, but we are now going to vote to move it to the ballot. So is there, I'll just say, we've talked about this a bunch, so I'm just going to move right to a vote unless there's someone who disagrees. I don't see anybody who wants to talk anymore. Travis is squirmy. Okay. All those in favor of moving Article 4 as amended to the ballot, signify by raising your voting cards. All those opposed, Article 4 will move to the ballot as amended. Okay. Article 3. I'm sorry.
Is now an appropriate time to restrict reconsideration on Articles 2 and 4?
It is your decision if now is a appropriate time to ask I can never say this, to restrict reconsideration of Articles 2 and 4.
I would like to make a motion to restrict reconsideration of Article 2 and Article 4.
Okay, a second on that motion. We have a motion to second. What this means is if these two articles cannot come up again later. And I'll give you an example. If we talk about Article 3 for the next 3 hours, and then someone says, hey, let's talk about 4 again, we will not be able to do that if this restriction passes. So all those in favor of restricting reconsideration in Articles 2 and 4 signify by raising your voting cards. Those opposed, that motion carries. And typically this is where a bunch of people get up and walk out, but sir. I can't hear you.
Is there discussion after?
We voted.
He wanted to know, did we vote about reconstruction?
Is there a question after before we move the vote to move it to the ballot?
There was no discussion because there was a hearty discussion before about that.
The question is actually legal.
All right, let's get up to the microphone and we'll try to figure out what's going on. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I didn't.
Ryan Young, High Street. My question is just that, if I understand this correctly, this goes through one more process of is the wording legal and did we just do a legal change to it? Is that correct? Before it goes to on the physical ballot?
My understanding is that the motion to amend did pass to amend the article by changing 3% to 15%. I'm not sure, and I think we're going to take out that incorrect legal or statutory citation. I'm not sure if there's any other amendments.
No, I think that the body was pretty comfortable, and it seemed the petitioner was comfortable in moving the E to a C, a housekeeping maneuver.
Right, and I was more talking about the percentage. If there's no extra legal look at it to see if changing from 3 to 15 is a minor change, right?
We've reviewed the article, and the article we believe will be, if now this all goes to voters in March, and they're the ultimate deciders as to whether the tax cap is established. So, but the article as written with the change with the amendment should we believe pass the DRA's review.
Yeah, I think I was talking about the DRA review of it. Is there a percentage, and obviously you probably don't know this, is there a percentage at which they would decide this is no longer a minor change to the article? For instance, if we just voted to change this to 87%, that seems like it's no longer a minor change. Is there a point to which this is no longer a minor change to the article?
Well, the way the statute is set out, it has the language for how to establish a local tax cap, and the percentage is blank. So that the petitioner can, obviously, they can propose a percentage. But the law is clear that this body, has, at the deliberative session, has the latitude to amend that number to what it determines is appropriate. So that's this body has real authority and power to make those amendments.
Okay, but my ultimate question was, if they found it was no longer a minor change, what happens?
Well,
Does it come back
this
to
is not,
3%?
I just backing up, this is not what I would call a minor change. I mean, the minor change is where the miscitation earlier to the other statute, that was going to confuse people. We felt that would still, DRA would still not disallow the article on that basis, but the minor textual changes are deal with spelling errors or that kind of thing. This percentage change is not, it's not that analysis. This is an action of the body deciding what's the appropriate percentage to take to voters. And that was amended just a little while ago. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just confused because it seemed like what we were gathering was a citizens petition article.
Right. Cannot
undergo anything over minor changes.
Right.
It sounds like you're saying that what just happened is not a minor change.
No, but it's within the law allows the body to amend that percentage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that's simply stated.
Because in the statute, it's blank. It doesn't give you a range or anything like that.
And I can tell you that other districts all over the state last year, this year, these types of articles are being presented regularly, the tax caps, budget caps, and it resulted in a lot of debate and a lot of amendments to those percentages. And sometimes they go up, some they go down. It's a very ripe area for discussion.
There we go.
It's allowed.
It is not a minor change, is what he said. So, to continue my sentence, that particular statute has a blank. It doesn't give you a range of percentage. It just is a blank. And it is our council's position that since that's left as a blank, it gives the body quite a bit of latitude to change that number to whatever they wish it to be. In other words, the RSA provides a vehicle, provides an avenue to change that number. Did I get that right?
That's right, Mr. Moderator. The law is clear that a petition warrant article has to go on the warrant. You cannot remove the petition article. But in some limited circumstances, you can amend them, and this is one of those circumstances where you can amend the percentage.
Could you hear that, Carla, right? Okay. The explanation was this is a case where you can amend that percentage. No, please, you can. Of course you can.
A lot of people in here have been doing this for a very long time, and we have been told by our town council that a citizen petition warrant article has to go on the ballot the way it was written. The change that you just allowed to be made is really not to be considered a minor change. It's not like changing an I to a B or a C to an E. It totally changes what Mr. Safi's intent was.
I agree, and there was a recent case.
So my question is, when this meeting is over, if Mr. Safi chooses to get another legal opinion,
Not the town council.
I don't want to be rude, sir, but it's an opinion. You have an opinion. Another attorney may have another opinion. We're just trying to come up with the correct opinion that makes what Mr. Safi wants to do correct.
I feel very confident in advising this body that this body has the right to amend this article as it has just earlier this evening. There's actually a case recently, not that recent, last few years, issued by the state Supreme Court, where a petition article was changed by the body. The petitioner was upset by the way it was changed. It greatly changed the intent of the article.
It changes the intent of the 25 people who submitted.
That's right. But the court held that this body has the right to change that intent. It can't change the subject matter, and this body has not changed the subject matter. The subject matter is whether or not to establish a local tax cap.
So, sir, can I ask him just one more
Please
question?
continue.
Well, should Mr. Safi, after this meeting, get an opinion that disagrees with yours, what happens? What do we then put in on the ballot?
Well, my understanding is that the article would go on the ballot as amended, and unless there's some other action taken to change that's what would happen. In the particular case I'm thinking of, I think it was out of Deerfield, there's a woman named Ms. Katie. It's a Katie Peel of, I can't think of her first name, but her petition warrant article was changed to a very large extent. The intent of it was really radically changed by the body in Deerfield. And that went all the way to the state Supreme Court, and the court said that the body had the right to do that, even though it wasn't what she wanted. She wanted to, I think, have the chief and someone else appointed, and they changed it to election, or it was vice versa. I don't have it in front of me, but that's a case on point that shows what authority this deliberative session has. People don't sometimes realize what the actual authority that this body has to make changes to these articles.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jason Guston, 161 Carly Road. I and everyone else here tonight have been following the procedures prescribed by law, which are afforded to every voting member of this town.
Thank you. It's okay to support people. It's all right. There's no booing. We don't do the booing. Hurts my feelings. All right. So we've cleared that point of order. We'll move on to Article 3. Shall the Candia School District approve the cost items included in the collective bargaining agreement reached between the Candia School Board and the Candia Education Association, which calls for the following increase in salaries and benefits at current staffing levels over the amount paid in the prior fiscal year. Year 2026 through 2027 would be $184,528.76. Year 2027 through 2028, $198,486.82, and further to raise and appropriate $184,528.76 for the 2026 through 2027 fiscal year, which sum represents the additional costs attributable to the increase in salaries and benefits required by the new agreement over those that would not be paid at the current staffing levels. Estimated tax rate impact 2026 through 2027 is 20 cents per thousand. Estimated tax impact 2027 through 2028 is 21 cents per thousand. And estimated tax rate impact 2028 through 2029 is 23 cents per thousand. 5 yes, 0 no, recommended by the school board. 8 yes, 1 no, recommended by the budget committee. I look for a motion on Article 3.
I'll make a motion.
The motion is second. Is there discussion on Article 3? There we go.
Steve Tremblay, 291 Chester Turnpike. On the budget committee, I have a question, and I probably should have asked this before, so I apologize. But I think what Stephanie just said, the budget, $11 million.
Step right up, brother. Step right up.
The budget, $11 million, included salaries and wages. And we're proposing the 26-27 budget. So why are we having another $189,000 increase?
Is there a board member that'd like to, oh, Bill, please respond.
Yep. In the current budget, or, I'm sorry, in this year's budget, in next year's budget that you just voted on, there are no teacher salary increases in that budget. There are administrator increases for custodians, paraprofessionals. That's in the budget. But under statute, the teacher contract expires as of June 30th of this year. We negotiated a contract with CEA. The cost of the 3-year contract is in the warrant article, and you have to, voters have to vote on every new contract. So if the voters of Candia, they vote on this on March 10th, and they approve this warrant article, that would then, those numbers that you see would be built into out year budgets. That is, we would take the first year of the contract and build it into the budget that we just approved, and then go to year 2 and year 3, they would be built into the budgets.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Very good. Any other discussion or comment on Article 3? Oh, okay. Don't look so tentative.
Well, it's not a very friendly crowd, but
I don't know about that.
I wanted to ask a question. Who negotiated the contract with the teachers? I don't need the teachers' names. They're fine as far as I'm concerned.
So, like the teachers union,
No, who represented the Candia taxpayers?
I was the school board member.
Okay. This, again, I support the teachers. I support this. I just want to let you know that the teachers, for the 3rd year, they asked for a rate increase of 3.4%. The negotiator gave them a 4% increase. Just a, no, it's not, whether it's good or bad.
If this gentleman wishes to clap, monitor says you just clap. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sue, could we see a copy of that? Because that does not, it's 1 year is 1%, the next year is another percent, and then the last year.
Oh, please. Please. But I'll let you guys.
And our union rep is here as well, but we haven't.
I'll let you guys take that as a sideboard. Is there any new discussion or comment on Article 3? Are you coming up? Okay.
Mike Gergio, 12 Deliberative. When the CBA is done, is it a straight COLA or is the CPI index taken into account? Just a...
Steph, did you catch that?
I did not.
You need to talk into the microphone.
Gotta get right
We
up that
can't hear you.
microphone. It's your best friend.
Sorry.
He had a very specific question about how that was computed, correct? Or what was concluded. Please, state it again.
So is, when the CBA is done, is it a, is the CPI taken into account, or is it just a straight COLA? Both?
When the school board, before we enter into negotiations, we discuss in non-public session a variety of scenarios of what we want to, what we believe the taxpayers can afford. One of the data points we do look at is the CPI, but other data points that are relevant to us is what we look at what other districts make or are paying their teachers in the surrounding, what we call South Central. Figure 25 miles, draw a circle around Candia. And we look at what our teachers are making at the different steps, and then we understand we can't catch up to the highest paid district in the state, but we do try to make our steps competitive. So for 2 reasons. One, we don't want to lose teachers because there's a shortage of teachers across New Hampshire, across the country. 10 years ago, if you got a teaching job, you held on to it like grid death because it was hard to get hired somewhere else because you'd be making too much money. If you work 5, 10 years, you have a master's degree, you become too expensive. That dynamic or that paradigm is completely flipped. And now teachers can literally go and job hunt and try to find the best paying job that they're certified for. So we built our proposed contract tries to make us more competitive, but yet also realize our taxpayers can only pay for so much. And to answer your original question, I apologize, I went a little astray there. We did talk about the CPI in our initial proposal, or when we talked.
There is, I mean, I heard you say step, so I'm assuming there's some sort of matrix?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
more informational, I'm not arguing against it or...
No problem.
problem.
It's a good place to learn.
Answered your question.
Place to learn. Yeah, Stephanie.
Regarding the negotiations with the teacher's contract, there was a comment made that the teachers requested 3.4%, but we gave 4%. The CEA proposed the following increases. Year 1 was 3.5%. Year 2 was 3.75%. Year 3 was 4%. It's not 3.4%, it's year 3 is 4%.
Okay. Did you have a follow-up question or a comment on that? Sue? Oh, it's a stretch.
Yeah, I'm just going by what it said, I'm sorry, I must have misread it, where it says.
So
it says right
I'm going to have you, Sue, I hate to do it to you, but pop back over there, get up close to that microphone, so, because
think
someone in the back might be curious.
It says here, CEA proposed the following increases, and then it listed them, year 1, 3.5, like you said, and that was agreed upon.
Yep.
With the negotiator. Year 2, 3.75, that was agreed upon. Year 3, 3.4, look at.
Year 3, space, 4%.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay, all right, we'll take that aside. Additional comments or questions on Article 3? Sure.
Because I was the school board rep who helped negotiate this contract. I don't know if everybody remembers, a few years ago, we lost some teachers due to higher paying jobs in southern New Hampshire. So we had to make some adjustments to get our teachers a little bit higher pay to keep them. We value them. It's important. In negotiating this contract, looking at other towns, comparisons, the starting salary of someone who has a 4-year college degree, it's just not, in my opinion, acceptable to hire someone for that rate. So we decided to continue on with trying to get the teachers equal pay in the area and try to get them up to an acceptable salary.
Very good. Additional questions or comments on Article 3? Oh, I saw stirring there. Are we all good? Oh, okay, then we'll cut you off. Then we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of moving Article 3 to the ballot as read, signify by raising your voting cards. Those opposed? The ayes have it. It'll move to the ballot as read. I look for a motion to dissolve our school district deliberative session. I have a motion and a second. Because I don't get a second, we stay here all night. Anyway, we are dissolved. If you could help our school staff here by folding your chairs and placing on the outer walls, it'd be greatly appreciated.